everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. It has been so long since I have sat down and recorded a video. I'm so happy to be back, and a lot of you guys really liked my old video where I was talking about some K-drama recommendations, and I thought let me make another version of it. This year I was pretty up to date with all the latest releases, so I thought let me do a 2020 recap and talk about the 2020 K-drama recommendations from my side actually. So like, if you guys haven't watched it, then maybe these recommendations can be useful for you all. I'll also be talking about all the other kind of shows that I watched and do I recommend that to you guys or not. Also, I have noticed that about 80% of you, all my viewers, haven't subscribed to my channel, so please go and smash the subscribe button and help me reach 1.5k subscribers, please guys. I'd like to give a shout out to my brother for helping me set up this camera and going out of this room and leaving me alone to shoot this video as quick as possible. Thank you so much. You're the best. So the first one which I'd like to recommend to you guys is The World of Married. Actually, when I heard the name of the K-drama, I was like, The World of Married. Well, what does that really mean? But I just started watching it, and it's not a very typical K-drama that you will watch. It revolves around the story of a doctor named Sunwoo, and she seems to have it all. She has a family, she has a child, she has a husband, she lives in a neighborhood which seems to be loving, but that's not true. She somehow finds out that her husband is having a relationship with a female who's about 20 years younger than him, and the whole society knows about it except for the female lead. When you see her getting to know that she has been deceived by so many people, that scene itself is so iconic. In her dreams, like, she takes a scissor and she just tries to kill her husband with that, but it's just a dream. So it's the story of her taking a revenge. It's not a very sweet K-drama. It's very crazy. It's like a roller coaster of emotions. At one moment you'll be happy and the other moment you will be cursing on the characters. It's based on a British series, I guess, Dr. Foster, and there are many similarities which you will see because I guess it's an adaptation. So if you have watched the series before, maybe you will kind of know the story a little beforehand. I will actually link the first episode in description. When I was trying to watch the series, while it was getting aired, it was very hard to find the episodes, but now it is readily available on Netflix, so like you can go and watch it on Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix, I'll find another link and I'll put it in the description so you guys can watch this show. Second K-drama which I'm going to be talking about is really very famous. A lot of my friends who don't even watch K-dramas actually watched this one and had really positive feedback. It's Itaewon Class. The main funda, or like the main theme of this K-drama, which I'll say, it is that business is not about money, it is about people. And I think if you look into a lot of comments below their YouTube videos and everything, you will see a lot of people actually relating to it. These days, the world is about startup, the world is about having small businesses, and it just highlights that life, that ambition, and it kind of actually influenced me to dream about having a business in future, or even maybe next year or something like that. Let me give you a gist of this story. So basically, Park Se-roi, who is the main lead in this K-drama, he's a really tense character actually. He's really hardworking, he's a little antisocial, I guess, but he's really attached to his father. So his father used to work for a company, but due to some injustice, he left that company, and then they both decided to start a restaurant. During this time, his dad gives him a lot of very valuable lessons, and that he uses ahead when he starts a pub in a very downtown place in Seoul. It's very hard to get an area or like a commercial space in that area because it is really very expensive. So what happens basically is that when he was young, his dad dies in a car accident, and then for some reasons Park Se-rae goes behind the bars for 3 years. I'll not highlight the whole story because then like I'm spitting out all the spoilers and everything. So this happens, he comes out and then he directly goes to earn money for about 10 years, and he comes back and he now wants to start his own business, and he has some reasons for revenge, which you'll understand once you start watching the K-drama. It highlights how do you need to make a business strategy, how much social media is important, how people are important in a business. It also has various other themes going around, like, you know, racial discrimination, or I guess inequality in working spaces. There are so many more themes going on that it will be really interesting for you guys to watch. Watch it on Netflix, or you should just go in the description. I'll find a link for you guys if you can't watch it on Netflix, so you can watch this K-drama. It's wonderful and I'll 100% recommend you guys to watch it. Third K-drama on my list is The Record of Youth. I actually wanted to watch this K-drama ever since I watched the trailer for this on YouTube. It was pretty fun and I was like, okay, what does this story really have? I didn't really understand it. I kind of felt like it was a story about youth and its dreams and how do they fulfill it, and it's pretty much on that lines only. It highlights the importance of friendship, love and family in our life. The story revolves around these three people. Park Bo-gum, who is the actor who plays the role of Sa Hae-jun, so he and his best friend Won Hae-yo are both models. They are doing really well, but they want to go into the acting industry because that's their calling. Apparently Sa Hae-jun, who is actually the main lead, he does not have money. He comes from a poor family. He quit his studies to pursue modeling and acting, and he struggles a lot to find a role, and there is a lot of, you know, discrimination he faces because all other people are very they maybe have a lot of social media followers, or like they are pretty rich. And on the other hand, his best friend Won Hae-yo has a rich family, so he gets in pretty easily. But that does not mean he misuses his influence. He is pretty down to earth. It's actually other reasons which you will understand in the K-drama that he gets into a lot of things in the sense, in a lot of movies and everything. His mom has a lot of influence on him, so he has his own struggles, and Sa Hae-jun has his own struggles. Then there is the female lead An Chong-ha, and I'm sorry if I'm spelling the names wrong, but the female lead actually had a pretty stable corporate job, but she ends up leaving it and going to follow her dreams, which was being a makeup artist. She always wanted to be one, and she lands up being one. She has her own struggles because it's very hard for her to sustain herself and then do a job, and she faces some discrimination in her workspace. So the story is about her. I think the story is really simple, and that is the charm of it. It is somewhat similar to Because It's My First Life. For me, I'm not talking in general, it's pretty different story. But both the K-dramas for me were really simple, but had a really strong message of love, family and friendship being the important ties in our life. It is also available on Netflix again. I guess on this point, Netflix should hire me because I am really promoting them a lot. The next K-drama on my list is again a very, very famous one, and I guess one of my best watches of 2020, which is It's Okay to Not Be Okay, Psychoziman Quintana. I really was like, wait, the title is really different. It's okay to not be okay. And it's kind of a fact also, and I was like, oh, I want to watch it. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, wow, I really want to watch it. The female lead, Ko Moon-young, which is really very famous, that character has got really very famous on Instagram. She looks so good. Like a lot of my friends who don't watch these stuff, they're like, oh my god, who is she? She's so beautiful. He is a children's book writer, but I have seen in the K-drama almost people of all ages read her books because it has a very strong, the storyline. It's not like a simple kid's story. It is really very different. Once you watch the K-drama, you'll understand. But actually, behind the scenes, she is suffering antisocial disorder, I guess. Let me see, what do you name it properly? It is antisocial personality disorder, yes. And she has a really dark past, which you'll get to know once you actually watch the story. Then there are two brothers in the story, Moon Gang-tae and Moon Sang-tae. So the older brother has a psychological disorder, so his younger brother has to take care of him, because of which he cannot do anything he like. It's been like that throughout his life. He's a caregiver and he is very loving, and he is actually a character which we all will relate to a lot, because in this whole K-drama he's the only one who really understands everybody, and he's like that perfect person that you'll see in the K-drama, but that's not it. He also has a lot of shades of him. This K-drama basically shows you how everybody can be good and how everybody can be bad. Like, we are not angels, or like we are not complete devils. We have two sides of us. So I guess that was one thing that I learned from this K-drama, and it's just a matter of perspective. How do you see each person? The animation scenes in the K-drama is really interesting and really unique. I mean, as a design student, I was like, wow, that's really interesting, and there's a lot to learn from this K-drama. I'll recommend you guys to watch it too. I don't know how many times I've said this line though. I'll again link the first episode in the description, so if you're interested in watching it, then go watch. Now I really don't know if I should recommend you guys the next one or not, because I haven't watched it fully. I'm on episode 12, but I still want to recommend this one, which is Startup. It's again a Netflix K-drama. I don't know how many Netflix K-dramas I've watched, or how much Netflix I have watched this year. Netflix, you know who you're gonna hire next, okay? Story revolves around these young entrepreneurs who want to make it big. The female lead wants to be like the Steve Jobs of Korea. She's so positive and like she's so inspired by all these people all around the world, and it's their journey of finding their path. I'll not expose a lot, but it is really inspirational. So basically there's this agency, not an agency, but like a company called Sandbox. It's not a company, I don't know what to say, but it helps these young entrepreneurs to get a chance to get their business out to the world. And not all get a chance. There are like only someone will get a chance to actually make their dreams come true, and that's when all these young entrepreneurs will meet, and that's how the story just revolves around it. I actually watched it because of its theme. I really like watching K-dramas which have a theme of entrepreneurship and friendship and inspiration. Woohoo. If you have watched it fully, do tell me what do you think about it. Yes, that was my final recommendation. Woohoo! Some other honorable mentions, okay? And I'm not gonna be explaining the story about them, but the other ones that I watched, I actually forgot all K-dramas that I watched this year, and even all the shows that I watched that I had to write it. I watched Something in the Rain, Private Lives, WWW Search, and Oh My Baby. So all these ones I actually kind of watched it within 2 days, and they all are a really good recommendation. I'll again link the first episode or the trailer of these shows, so if you are interested in watching it, you can watch these ones too. Then the next one which I like to talk about is some movies that I watched actually, like Until I Met September Love, Tremble All You Want. Otherwise, I watched this show called Kim's Convenience and Gilmore Girls. I loved Gilmore Girls. I don't know why I watched it, but I watched it and I was like, why didn't I watch this before? I love Gilmore Girls. Expect watching more Gilmore Girls content on my channel very soon, because I just love that show. I don't have a reason, but I just like Lorelai's character so much that I just watched the whole show for her. I don't know why. I really watched a lot of Hindi movies which kind of range from the year 2000 to 2012. A lot of movies I really like lie in this year range. So I rewatched it all again because, again, like Amazon Prime, Netflix, they all have this access to these movies so easily. So it was really good going down the memory lane. And that sums up everything that I have watched in 2020. Thank you so much for watching this video until now. Like, share and subscribe. What shows did you watch this year? Do tell me in the comment section. And I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.